The Federal Communications Commission will be voting on a decision to repeal the Open Internet Order, an Obama administration policy that restricted internet service providers like Verizon, Comcast, or AT&T from blocking or throttling internet traffic. Ajit Pai, who was previously a top lawyer for Verizon, is the newest chairman for the FCC, and he believes that current net neutrality regulation stifles corporate innovation and infrastructure spending. On December 7, 2017, hundreds of people stood outside Verizon wireless stores all over the country to protest, including Long Beach, which held a small protest at a Verizon store in Lakewood, California.
It means that we have equal access to all of the internet content without some of the content being either slowed down or overpriced.
Making sure that everybody has equal access to the internet means that I get as fair a shake as somebody who's got a lot more money than I do.
Okay.
In terms of access.
It has the potential to completely affect our society as a whole, and the spread of information and knowledge that we've grown so accustomed to.
I'm not sure that people really understand the concept of net neutrality. They might know that they're for it, but they don't know why.
A lot of people who perhaps haven't done their research just assume Obama-era regulation is bad. It's just associated with being a negative thing that happened. However, I think in this case, the internet is essentially a basic human right. Yeah. We need that regulation in place to prevent corporations from having free will to censor our freedoms.
Assuming that the corporations are taking their profits and reinvesting them in innovation. But the majority of the time what they're doing is they're taking those greater revenues that they're generating and passing them on to their shareholders. They're not benefiting consumers by lowering prices or improving the quality of their networks or expanding deployment.
Frontier?
Which used to be Verizon.
Where I live, I have access to only one, which is Spectrum. I'm completely unable to change my internet service provider.
Well, actually, I did have Verizon Fios, and then Frontier took it over, and it was a nightmare.
Really?
And I wanted to get rid of Frontier, and I did lots and lots of research, and the only option I had was Spectrum.
I believe it's two. We currently have Charter Spectrum, and we did have Frontier, but Frontier service was so horrendous that I'll never go back to Frontier.
For people who couldn't come to a protest like this, what's something that they can do to make their voices heard?
I would recommend they go to battleforthenet.com, find out who their senator is, write them, contact the FCC, make your voice known and heard. Another thing I would recommend is voting with your wallet. Verizon, Comcast, and AT&T are all behind this. Don't give them any more money than you absolutely have to. I realize some of us, again, as I mentioned, the ISPs monopolize certain areas, so some of us may not have a choice but to give these companies money. However, if you have cell phone service through them, consider switching to a different carrier.
Although I'm not sure that coming out to demonstrate will have much of an impact, because my impression is that the FCC chair, Ajit Pai, has already made up his mind that repealing the Open Internet Order is a done deal. It was important to me just to come out and to show that it is something I oppose.